was talking about this scenario where Twitter starts off negative in the trap zone. Okay? Starts off negative in the trap zone. But what it does a little bit later turns everything around for a bit. So I want you to take this move that Twitter had here. From this low, it moved up continuously to that high before a pause sometime. I'm always telling you, if you combine your consecutive steady moves into one bar, a lot of times you get greater clarity in your play, right? So now if we fill that in into one bar, okay, fill that in. What we have here is something very powerful to the upside, okay? Very powerful to the upside. Now, I'm always also telling you that when your stock gaps, I want you to fill the gap in, at least mentally, as if the stock didn't gap. So let's fill the bar in as if it traded down and not gap down. And it goes all the way to this low, right? Now, let's fill this in. And what do we have? What pattern is that? Does someone type it for me? What pattern is that? Bull 180. Okay. Now, this bull, this green bar is now shooting power to the right. It's shooting green power to the right, which means that any attempt by red to drop has to drop through all of this power, which the odds of getting through all of this power is very low. So the next pause or the next pullback is buyable. Okay? Now, what I was explaining was this. Some of you remember me telling you this story in this way. Check this out. Remember how when kids we used to draw the sun in the right-hand corner of our piece of paper? Right? I used to fill the sun in like that. Okay? Now, the sun is only shining on the green now. Before the green, the sun was shining on the red. Green wasn't there. So the red was receiving the sun before. But the green grew powerful enough and tall enough to block the red from receiving the sun. All right? Someone help Angela out. Tell her that sound is on her side, that sound is fine. Someone type that for me. Okay. All right. So here, I need you all to understand this concept. I need you all to understand that there are moves that are powerful enough, strong enough, and tall enough to change the nature of a stock, at least for a period. All right? Now, let's take a look at this concept, guys. Let's take a look at this concept and apply it to second QCOM. Okay, really weird. Okay. Okay. So remember the sun concept. Now, let's take QCOM, shall we? We're going to take QCOM. Now, see the gap down. The gap down. Now, what are we supposed to do with the gap down? What are we supposed to do with it when it stock gaps down, at least mentally? What do we do? Fill it in. All right, so let's fill it in. Let's pretend it traded there to the open and not gap there. Now, let's draw our sun. Remember, just like we were kids, we used to draw the sun in the upper right-hand corner of a piece of paper. We used to fill the sun in right there. Now, you see what's receiving the sun? You see that, right? Okay, now, but we get a move up. See the move up? Does that move up block the sun? Does it block the red from receiving the sun? No, that's the bias. However, if this move eventually gets up high enough, it will block the sun. It will block the red from receiving the sun. So this concept is very important, traders, very important. I explain this by with a quick story. It's a true story, and I'll just for the benefit of you guys, I'll explain it once again, and then we'll move on. Las Vegas, true story. I've been going to the Wynn Hotel for the past 12, 15 years. All right. Another hotel prior, but the Wynn Hotel. And one of the things I, amongst many other people, loved about the Wynn, especially in the early years, was that it has one of the best pool areas and the best pool events on the weekends, especially. They're very difficult to get into. I'm talking about really upper class, and just people spent enormous amounts of money there. Now, these pool parties were so popular that it basically drew the entire strip, the entire Las Vegas strip, to the Wynn hotels, especially on the weekend. So LVS, all right, Adelson, LVS is the biggest outfit in Las Vegas. They got a little jealous. Adelson got a little jealous. All right. So what he decided to do was buy the hotel or the casino next to the Wynn. He brought it down and he rebuilt in its place a hotel called the Palazzo. What LVS did, this is Wynn. LVS comes along, builds Palazzo, but he builds Palazzo. He makes sure he builds Palazzo in a way where he builds the casino tall enough to make sure that just about noon, when the sun is at its highest, it blocks the Wynn's pool area from receiving the sun all afternoon. It's a true story. Just like that, the Wynn Hotel lost their pool business forever. And so, sometimes in a stock you have Palazzo. You have the Palazzo effect. Sometimes you have a building of such power, such strength, of such height, that whatever was the story before that is not the story anymore. It now receives the sun. It now gets the benefit of the doubt, no longer what was happening on the other side of it. Does that make sense? You guys got it?